Now at 9, authorities in Webb City, Missouri searching for a suspect who robbed a Dollar General. Plus,
the January 6th Select Committee is reportedly considering the possibility of charges of witness tampering or possibly obstruction of justice. I'm Mike Emanuel in Washington with the latest on the investigation coming up.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Albee. Joplin fire officials say a man has died from injuries he received in a house fire. Fire happened early Monday morning at 819 West A Street when fire crews arrived. They found 71-year-old Michael Hass trapped inside. They got him out, took him to the hospital where he later passed away. Fire officials determined the cause of the fire to be a malfunctioning electric fan. Authorities searching for a man after an armed robbery in Webb City, Missouri. Just after 9 last night, Webb City police responded to a call at the Dollar General in Webb City at 1510 South Madison. Witnesses say a man entered the store, demanded money from the employees. The man showed a gun and took an undetermined amount of cash. Authorities warned to not approach the suspect as he is considered armed and dangerous. Authorities say a train struck and killed a pedestrian in Knoll, Missouri. Happened around 9 last night. Authorities say the victim was a Knoll man who died at the scene, but they have not yet released his identity. Law officers are continuing their investigation, but do not suspect foul play. Well, the price of pretty much everything is climbing, right? The rise in fertilizer and fuel costs in particular is adding to the overall price of meats and livestock. KOAM's Amber Jenkins talks to some forestaters in the industry.
America's inflation is at a 40-year record high. The rising prices of fuel, fertilizer, and other materials to raise and sell livestock have affected local farmers' pockets dearly. Due to the inflation, your next steak dinner might cost a little bit more.
And kind of with that said, you know, the cattle inventory in the United States is probably down 3% from the last year and a half, and that's just hundreds of thousands of cows. So, and there's been a lot of droughts in places, and a lot of those big cow herds have been dispersed and sold, and so that means there won't be a lot of calves born from them cows that they have gotten rid of. So it's going to make the inventory we have now worth a little bit more money.
Cattle farmers have to keep a close eye on their budget. Although the cost of cattle increase, cattle maintenance increased even more.
Most of these people are very conservative. You know, they watch their budgets close. You know, the cattle they're selling right now, they're just trying to keep all their input costs paid, keep everything going, just getting closer to the fall.
Inflation does not only affect the prices of cattle. Butcher and meat processing shop are also adapting to keep their prices affordable for the community.
My dad and I make a good effort to do smart buying, smart packaging techniques, and to try to keep the costs down on the things that we can control to be able to sell it for the consistent prices that we have been.
The extra effort to cut costs is justified to Andrew because he values consistency.
We have people coming in, and a lot of them can't even believe that it was the same prices from month to month, let alone, you know, from almost year to year now that we've had these bundle prices for it.
In Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
An industry analyst says the recent deaths of cattle in western Kansas because of all this heat does not have a substantial impact on those meat prices. Big news for travelers who use the Joplin Airport. SkyWest is going to continue to provide its Joplin service at least through the end of the year. Earlier this year, SkyWest, which runs United Express flights to Denver and Chicago, announced it would end service to the Joplin Regional Airport and 28 other communities, largely in part to a pilot shortage. But the city announced today, SkyWest Airlines, operated by United Express, will keep its current Joplin service throughout 2022. The flights include a daily nonstop morning flight to Chicago and an evening return flight, as well as an afternoon flight to and from Denver Thursday through Monday. Lazy Boy today celebrated the expansion of its new distribution center. The furniture manufacturer held a ribbon cutting ceremony today in the flower block city of Neosho, Missouri, to commemorate its parts distribution center's move to the Midwest. President and CEO appreciates Neosho's involvement in the whole process.
All of our different components that we use and produce in the manufacturing, several of those will go through this facility and be distributed out to different manufacturing facilities throughout the North America that we have.
The company intends to have 5 phases in their expansion project. Peerless products Also expanding its Nevada, Missouri facility, the windows and doors manufacturer announced it's investing $3.5 million to increase their production capacity. The investment will also add 111 new jobs to the facility. Peerless has operated in Nevada since 2019 and currently employs 40 people. Former President Trump's legal exposure over the January 6th riot appears to be growing. Some Democratic lawmakers are calling for looking into the possibility of referring charges for witness tampering. Fox News Chief Washington correspondent Mike Emanuel has the latest now from Washington.
Among next steps being considered by the January 6th Select Committee investigating last year's events, possible criminal referrals for witness tampering or obstruction of justice. Tuesday's hearing concluded with Republican Vice Chair Liz Cheney seemingly alluding to the possibility.
Liz Cheney pointed out at the end that we're very troubled about different efforts to influence witnesses.
January 6th committee Democratic lawmaker Pete Aguilar pointed to such alleged efforts as justification for charges being considered.
And I think that that's something that should be looked at by our committee and potentially by the Department of Justice.
Meantime, former President Trump continues to deny any wrongdoing regarding last year's events, even as the latest testimony from former Trump White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson included stunning allegations claiming after the president's speech he demanded to be driven to the Capitol, even attempting to grab the wheel when told no by his own Secret Service.
The president reached up towards the front of the vehicle to grab at the steering wheel.
The 25-year-old former aide said she was told of the altercation by White House security officials and that Bobby Engel, the head of the detail, was in the room and didn't dispute the account. Senior Secret Service agents are reportedly prepared to testify that President Trump did not lunge for the wheel or attack his own security detail. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
Russia's attacks on Ukraine prompted Nato allies to pour even more troops into Europe. Ukraine's president is urging the alliance to do more to defend against Moscow's advances. Fox News correspondent Nate Foy has more.
Russia poses the most significant and direct threat to our security.
NATO's chief says the alliance faces its biggest security crisis since World War II as Russia continues its invasion of Ukraine. During a summit in Madrid, the alliance announced plans to increase its military presence in Europe. The United States will establish its first permanent troop presence in Poland. President Biden says the summit is a message to Russian President Vladimir Putin that NATO remains united.
That's exactly what he didn't want, but exactly what needs to be done to guarantee security for Europe.
But Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is pushing for more military aid. He's asking for more modern missile defense systems to counter Russian weapons. Zelensky also told NATO leaders his country needs about $5 billion in military aid per month to fight this war.
Either urgent help to Ukraine that is enough to win or face a delayed war between Russia and yourself.
President Zelensky's plea comes amid more Russian shelling in the city of Kharkiv, striking residential buildings and a factory. Despite Russia's advances in the country, defense experts say it's not over for Ukraine.
They have worn down the Ukrainians, but they've taken a significant amount of casualties, and in the upcoming weeks, they're likely going to have to take an operational pause.
British defense officials say Russia has a shortage of precise weapons, which is leading to more civilian casualties. Reporting in Lviv, Ukraine, I'm Nate Foy, Fox News.
KOM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time now to honor another four-state hero. Fred Roberts served in the U.S. Army from 1918 to 1919. Native of Valletta, Kansas, Roberts is part of some engineers who were stationed in France. We are proud to thank and salute Private First Class Fred Roberts. He's tonight's four-state hero. Doug Hedges up next with a complete look at the forecast. A bit later in sports, a former Pitt State All-American is headed to the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame. Details, of course, in sports. Welcome back. Time now for that weather forecast.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a hot day for us today. At least we still don't have the humidity, but our temperatures have been climbing over the past couple days. Of course, Saturday we hit 100, and then we were only about 80 on Sunday, and then we've been slowly rising. We made it into the upper 80s yesterday, lower 90s, right around 91 for us today, and it looks like temperatures are going to continue to creep up as we go through the next few days. But the evening hours have been great. We're still looking pretty good, upper 70s to near 80 right now. Case in point, 78 in Nevada, 76 in Miami, Chanute at 78. We have Anderson also checking in at about 78 degrees. But here's the key. Here are the dew points. When you're into the 50s to near 60, that's pretty good. We're kind of sitting in that pleasant to not bad range, but we're going to step this range up, especially by the time we get into the second half of the weekend, and that's when you get the heat and the humidity to return. Nice shot, clear skies. Currently outside, sitting at 81. Still feels like 81. Humidity at about 41%, but absolutely nothing is going on outside. We've had clear skies across the region. We're going to continue to see clear skies as we go through the overnight hours. Look at this. Entire Central Plains, nothing going on. You have to travel south before you find some showers and thunderstorms. This is a little bit of tropical moisture, which will try to evac north. We'll try to combine it with some of these weak waves across the northern parts of the plains. And what that means for you is we do have a chance for some showers and thunderstorms scattered by the time we head into the holiday weekend. It doesn't look like it's going to be widespread, so if you have outdoor activities, don't worry about it. All right, let's go through tonight. Low to mid 60s, quick warm up, 70s. I think upper 80s to near 90 by the noon hour. We're still going to have plenty of sunshine. I think most of us about roughly 94 degrees as we go into the afternoon. Here's your day planner, 62 to start, 89 by noon. High temp of 94, southerly winds at about 5 to 10. We may get a few clouds in here tomorrow night with thunderstorms to our north. These would stay mainly along and north of I-70, but we'll call it partly sunny skies on Friday. Mid-90s once again. You can see slight chance for an isolated shower or two as we go into the afternoon hours. Most of you will stay dry, but rain chances increase a little bit, especially our northern counties, Friday night into Saturday morning as that next storm system gets a little bit closer to us. All right, heat indices tomorrow about 95. Not awful, but they do approach 100 by the time we head into Friday afternoon, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that. Let's go into the holiday weekend. Better chances for rain stay to our north. Isolated thunderstorms Saturday for us. Sunday, isolated thunderstorms still possible. Most of the day is going to be fine. On the 4th, we have the heat. Look at this, temperatures upper 90s, but still we're going to have that shot for an isolated thunderstorm or two. So we need to keep our eyes on that, but overall, I think the holiday weekend is shaping up pretty good. All right, 94 for us tomorrow, 95 Friday, 94 Saturday, 93 on Sunday. Look at this. The heat really kicks in by the 4th, 97, and then triple digits as we head into next week. So we could get a pretty good heat wave on our hands by the middle of next week. Jordan?
All right, Doug, thanks so much. Coming up, a warning from health officials.
The WHO warning of increased transmission of the monkeypox virus while the U.S. rolls out its vaccine strategy. I'm Jonathan Seri in Atlanta. I'll have details coming up.
Some social media platforms removing posts offering abortion capsules. This after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. In particular, Instagram and Facebook are pulling out content intending to give or mail out abortion pills to users. According to the AP, Associated Press, users posting these offers are finding their posts removed within minutes. A Meta spokesperson said these posts offering the pills are prohibited on the platform. However, information on where and how to find them is allowed. Health officials across the globe warning of heightened transmission of the monkeypox virus, leading the U.S. to unveil a new vaccine strategy. Fox News correspondent Jonathan Seri has the details now from Atlanta.
The World Health Organization saying sustained transmission of the monkeypox virus across the globe could soon lead to the virus spreading among high-risk groups, including pregnant women, children, and the immunocompromised.
We have to do everything possible with the public health proven measures to control this pandemic outbreak that's going on among these high-risk groups.
Cases of monkeypox have been identified in more than 50 countries, with more than 300 cases here in the U.S. Health officials laying out their plan to expand vaccine availability across the country, with plans to distribute nearly 300,000 doses of the monkeypox vaccine over the coming weeks. They're also expanding the group of people they are recommending to get vaccinated, to include anyone who may have been exposed to the virus. Meanwhile, the WHO is also working on expanding vaccine distribution. This as countries including the US and the UK have expressed willingness to share their stockpiles of the smallpox vaccine, which can also be used to protect against monkeypox. However, it has a higher risk of side effects and is not recommended for those with HIV.
It's really important as we encourage the sharing of these products that we also collect the necessary clinical efficacy data so that we continue to gather data.
The Jynneos monkeypox vaccine is administered in 2 doses, 28 days apart. In Atlanta, John Sari, Fox News.
I still had some vehicles of the future.
Artificial intelligence and 3D printing are reinventing the automotive industry. I'm Jackie Ibanez with a look at a groundbreaking car from an innovative American company that's turning some heads. That's all straight ahead.
FTC is suing Walmart over its money transfer services. The agency alleges Walmart let scam artists who stole, quote, hundreds of millions of dollars from customers who use the services. The suit accuses Walmart of failing to properly secure those services at its store for years. It also says Walmart didn't properly train employees, also failed to alert customers to the scams. FTC is asking the court to order Walmart to return money to consumers and impose civil penalties. Walmart, for its part, called the lawsuit, quote, factually misguided and legally flawed. Bed Bath & Beyond might be cutting on electricity to save money. According to a recent report by analysts from Bank of America, the home goods chain is turning down that AC in its stores to cut costs. The report also claims that the chain is going to be reducing store hours in July and pushing back opening times to 11 a.m. Bed Bath & Beyond reported a decrease in sales by 22% in its most recent quarter, which ended in February. All right, so Henry Ford's assembly line system for manufacturing cars revolutionized the industrial world, right? But now another automotive company is also hoping to leave its mark on history. Fox News correspondent Jackie Ibanez has a look at the 21C, a sports car built with AI software and 3D printed parts.
At first glance, it may look like any other sports car on the market. But artificial intelligence and 3D printing are setting the Zinger 21C apart.
Human creativity and design and engineering connected to an AI-driven machine.
Because the 21C is primarily designed and developed by special AI software, officials at Zinger say they've been able to craft perfectly optimized parts that take on the look of elements you'd find in nature.
We're not designing these to look organic, bone-like, biological. They just actually look biological because biological is efficient and these structures are perfectly efficient.
But that's not all, because many of these parts resemble complex geometry. Zinger uses 3D printers to produce much of the 21C's structure, including its suspension. The car also features a unique seating layout similar to a fighter jet, where the passenger is positioned behind the driver. The result? A slimmer car that can go 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds and reach a top speed of more than 250 miles per hour. Company officials believe their process of using AI and 3D printing will become the norm for other industries.
Aerospace, defense, specialty vehicles, essentially anything that's complex and metal, this system's going to end up supplying those parts for.
Sales of the 21C are expected to begin sometime next year. But you may want to save up your pennies. It comes with a pretty hefty price tag of around $2 million. Jackie Ibanez, Fox News.
Whoa, $2 million. All right, look at that. Taco Bell testing out a unique combination of ingredients and different foods. More on this next. Taco Bell and Cheez-It's latest drop is cheese lovers drooling. Cheez-It. Taco Bell just released their latest collab, dropping the big Cheez-It Tostada and the big Cheez-It Crunchwrap Supreme. 2 new items feature a big Cheez-It at a base and big Cheez-It, which is 16 times bigger than the usual Cheez-It, with the traditional seasoned beef, diced tomatoes, sour cream, cheddar cheese, and lettuce from Taco Bell. Now, the restaurant is testing out these iconic items for 2 weeks only in Irvine, California, but there is a possibility the new additions could be offered nationwide. I can see those ingredients coming together and being happy, right? Yeah. Making you happy. All right, 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming away. Local golf course celebrating a century in operation. Plus,
The campaign to ward off COVID-19 and prevent another future wave of infections could be getting a new boost. I'm Kevin Cork with a look at why an FDA panel is recommending booster shots be updated. That's coming right up.
There was a big celebration here at TV Central television station this afternoon. Representatives from 6 area chambers of commerce joined us, 6 of them. Joined us for ribbon cuttings. KOAM TV and Fox 14 made progress in project to improve the power and reach of our broadcasting signal. The chambers of commerce from Joplin, Pittsburgh, Carthage, Carl Junction, Neosho, and Grove joined us to celebrate, get an update on the project, also tour the facilities.
You know, it's just this is a fun business to be in, and so it's exciting to be able to do that. Although I should say, I can't take any of the credit. Our chief engineer, Bill Vickery, is the one who really has led the charge on the project and has helped us understand the why, the how, and how it's going to impact not only us, but the community.
All right, so when the antenna and transmitter project is complete, our signal is going to be stronger than ever. But in the meantime, many of you know already, the signal might be a bit glitchy for some of you, but a big improvement is coming soon. 100 years on the green, Schiffer Decker Golf Course, celebrating its anniversary of the opening in 1922. City officials held a ribbon-cutting ceremony with celebrity tee shots from Mayor Pro Tem Keenan Cortez, Parks and Rec Director Paul Bloomberg, and current Ozark amateur Jordan Burks. The course is open to the public and consists of 18 holes.
The goal for this golf course is to make sure that it is one of those amenities that's available to the community as a whole. As a quality of life thing, having a municipal golf course within our city limits just adds to the quality of life that our citizens can have.
Schiffer-Decker Park was named in 1923 to honor Charles Schiffer-Decker, who donated 120 acres of land in 1915. Some good music right there. Yeah, folks in Fort Scott, Kansas had the chance to watch a special performance. The 35th Infantry Division Band of the Kansas National Guard today performed at the Fort Scott National Historic Site. The band performed a mixture of pops, classical, and patriotic music. Did you buy the wrong item or wrong size recently? Don't worry about it. Some stores may actually pay you to keep the item. Yeah, some major outlets like Target right there, Walmart, American Eagle, Gap, considering letting customers keep items that they wanted to return, paying them back the money too. Retailers are facing high levels of inventory and would rather not have to restock items. Now, of course, one retail expert says, all right, the risk for the retailers is that people are going to catch on, right? Deceptive customers can try to seek free merchandise over a series of orders. Trying to save money, drinking a cup of coffee before you shop might not help. Yeah, you know all those Starbucks places in Target? A new study suggests shoppers who drink caffeinated coffee spent 50% more money and bought 30% more items than those who hadn't. Researchers from the University of South Florida put an espresso machine in front of stores in France and Spain. People who drank caffeinated coffee bought a lot more items, as we just heard about. Researchers say drinking coffee can also influence what you buy. Federal health officials don't have a crystal ball to predict when or if another COVID-19 surge is going to hit, but they say they're using the data available to them to try and stay ahead of the virus as best as possible. Fox News correspondent Kevin Cork has a look at the new changes that could be coming to booster shots, plus why some medical professionals say ending this pandemic involves getting as many eligible people vaccinated, including kids under 5.
Americans could soon be rolling up their sleeves for newly formulated COVID-19 booster shots. An FDA advisory panel recommending Tuesday that booster doses be updated to include specific protection against the highly contagious Omicron variant. While current vaccines and boosters protect against serious COVID-19 complications, those can weaken over time.
With the waning vaccine efficacy and the confluence of risk this fall, we need to make a move sooner rather than later.
The panel hasn't specified how updated formulas should be designed, with health experts still debating which Omicron strain to target. Both Pfizer and Moderna have already been testing reformulated vaccines that counteract Omicron, with officials reporting promising results. Meanwhile, as the vaccine rollout continues for kids under 5, health professionals are reflecting on just how much the virus has impacted this age group.
We've had more than 2 million cases, more than 20,000 hospitalizations, and unfortunately more than 200 deaths in children under the age of 5 since the beginning of the pandemic.
And not getting them vaccinated could jeopardize efforts to curtail the spread of the virus.
We can't leave one level or one age group in the population unprotected and expect the pandemic to sort of come to an end.
And the contributions of vaccines is hard to ignore. A new study from researchers at Imperial College London says COVID-19 shots saved roughly 20 million lives worldwide during their first year. I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
A bit later, disgraced R&B singer R. Kelly is sentenced in his sex trafficking case.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a hot day for us today. At least we still don't have the humidity, but our temperatures have been climbing over the past couple days. Of course, Saturday we hit 100, and then we were only about 80 on Sunday, and then we've been slowly rising. We made it into the upper 80s yesterday, lower 90s, right around 91 for us today, and it looks like temperatures are going to continue to creep up as we go through the next few days. But the evening hours have been great. We're still looking pretty good, upper 70s to near 80 right now. Case in point, 78 in Nevada, 76 in Miami, Chanute at 78. We have Anderson also checking in at about 78 degrees. But here's the key. Here are the dew points. When you're into the 50s to near 60, that's pretty good. We're kind of sitting in that pleasant to not bad range, but we're going to step this range up, especially by the time we get into the second half of the weekend, and that's when you get the heat and the humidity to return. Nice shot, clear skies. Currently outside, sitting at 81. Still feels like 81. Humidity at about 41%, but absolutely nothing is going on outside. We've had clear skies across the region. We're going to continue to see clear skies as we go through the overnight hours. Look at this. Entire Central Plains, nothing going on. You have to travel south before you find some showers and thunderstorms. This is a little bit of tropical moisture, which will try to back north. We'll try to combine it with some of these weak waves across the northern parts of the plains. And what that means for you is we do have a chance for some showers and thunderstorms scattered by the time we head into the holiday weekend. It doesn't look like it's going to be widespread, so if you have outdoor activities, don't worry about it. All right, let's go through tonight. Low to mid 60s, quick warm up, 70s. I think upper 80s to near 90 by the noon hour. We're still going to have plenty of sunshine. I think most of us about roughly 94 degrees as we go into the afternoon. Here's your day planner, 62 to start, 89 by noon. High temp of 94, southerly winds at about 5 to 10. We may get a few clouds in here tomorrow night with thunderstorms to our north. These would stay mainly along and north of I-70. But we'll call it partly sunny skies on Friday. Mid 90s once again. You can see slight chance for an isolated shower or two as we go into the afternoon hours. Most of you will stay dry, but rain chances increase a little bit, especially our northern counties, Friday night into Saturday morning as that next storm system gets a little bit closer to us. All right, heat indices tomorrow about 95. Not awful, but they do approach 100 by the time we head into Friday afternoon, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that. Let's go into the holiday weekend. Better chances for rain stay to our north. Isolated thunderstorms Saturday for us. Sunday, isolated thunderstorms still possible. Most of the day is going to be fine. On the 4th, we have the heat. Look at this. Temperatures upper 90s, but still we're going to have that shot for an isolated thunderstorm or two. So we need to keep our eyes on that, but overall, I think the holiday weekend is shaping up pretty good. All right, 94 for us tomorrow, 95 Friday, 94 Saturday, 93 on Sunday. Look at this. The heat really kicks in by the 4th, 97, and then triple digits as we head into next week. So we could get a pretty good heat wave on our hands by the middle of next week. Jordan?
All right, Doug, thanks so much again, man. Hey, if you're ever on the go and want to still be able to watch our newscast live, just download the KOAM Plus app. It's available free of charge on the Apple and Google Play stores, as well as Roku and Amazon Fire TV. All you have to do is pretty easy. Just search for KOAM Plus. Coming up in sports, former Pittsburgh State All-American is headed to Kansas Sports Hall of Fame. Plus, KC Royals aiming to avoid a sweep against the Rangers. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
Former Pittsburgh State All-American Kendall Gammon is headed to the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame. Gammon is part of the class of 2022 and will enter the Hall of Fame in October. Gammon played 4 years at Pittsburgh State. He was a 3-time All-MIAA offensive lineman and was an All-American in 1991 when he helped the Gorillas win the Division II National Championship. After that, he went on to play 15 years in the NFL between the Steelers, Saints, and Chiefs. He's one of 10 individuals in this year's Hall of Fame class, which also includes NASCAR champion Clint Boyer and former KU basketball coach Roy Williams.
A little speechless, and I'm not speechless very often. Again, it's just something that you don't expect. Didn't have any idea this was even in the works. I am very grateful, first to Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh State University, where I went to school. I call it my home. I'm from Rose Hill, and it was a great place too, but Pittsburgh has become that home. When you come here and you see what's going on in the city and with the university, it's something to really love.
Gammon is already in the Pittsburgh State Hall of Fame and the MIAA Hall of Fame. You can check out our full story on the sports page at KOAMnewsnow.com. The Joplin Outlaws are in action tonight on the road against the Nevada Griffins. And tonight's game is the 5th meeting of the season between the two teams. Nevada has won 3 of the first 4. This one tonight has been a good one, but Nevada leads at 8-7 in the top of the 8th inning. Liam Bailey is 3 for 4 for the Outlaws with a double and 3 RBIs. The Kansas City Royals finish up a 3-game series with the Texas Rangers this afternoon. The Royals are trying to avoid the sweep after dropping the first 2 games of the series. Kansas City gets the first run of the day here. MJ Melendez back up the middle into center. Bobby Witt Jr. scores. Hunter Dozier, though, thrown out at the plate. Royals take a 1-0 lead. Zach Greinke making his 500th career start today for Kansas City. Gives up a solo home run here, but he ends up going 6 innings, and that is the only run he gave up today. After 1-1 game here in the bottom of the 5th, Kyle Isbell hammers it up and out to right. Royals back on top. And how about some defense? Bobby Witt Jr. dives, makes the nice throw to first for the out. Showing off the range there. Royals hold on and avoid the sweep 2-1 over the Rangers. On the National League, the St. Louis Cardinals try for the 3-game sweep over the Marlins this evening. The Cards led going to the 9th, but the Marlins got 2 in the top half to win it 4-3. Dylan Carlson goes 1 for 3 on the day with a pair of RBIs. St. Louis will now be on the road for 7 straight games beginning on Friday against the Philadelphia Phillies. Now finally, the MIAA has accepted Newman and Rogers State as full-time members of the association. The 2 schools have been associate members of the MIAA since 2019. And Newman and Rogers State will officially become the MIAA's 13th and 14th full-time members on July 1st. Each school, by the way, offers 14 NCAA championship sports, but neither school has a football program. And that's it for sports. We're back with more news right after the break.
Disgraced R&B singer R. Kelly receiving a 30-year prison sentence today for several charges linked to racketeering and sex trafficking. His legal woes, though, are not over, as Kelly faces another federal case in Chicago set to start in early August. Fox's Rich Dennison has more on the story from New York City.
Disgraced R&B singer R. Kelly was sentenced to 30 years in prison in his federal sex trafficking case in New York. The 55-year-old was tried and eventually found guilty last September of 1 count of racketeering and 8 counts of violating the Mann Act. The Mann Act makes it a federal offense to transport people across state lines for an immoral purpose. The trial featured emotional testimony from victims who say Kelly used his star power over more than 2 decades to groom, exploit, and sexually abuse them. Those representing Kelly argued he deserved a sentence of 10 years or less due to his traumatic childhood involving severe, prolonged childhood sexual abuse.
Obviously, sentencing is never a pleasant day when you've been convicted, but he's strong and we are going to get through this. We are really looking forward to the appeal. That's what I can say.
Victims of Kelly say it's a moment they've been waiting for, saying the conviction and sentencing strikes victory for the Me Too movement.
They have found the courage also to be here today to give their victim impact statements to the court.
What are you
and
hoping?
To Mr. Kelly. This has been a long journey for them, and I'm just so proud of him.
Kelly's legal woes are not over yet. He still faces federal child pornography and obstruction of justice charges in Chicago and state charges in Illinois and Minnesota.
It will not be over today for Mr. Kelly. I don't know of any other predator that's had 4 prosecutions pending against him.
Kelly's federal trial in Chicago is scheduled to begin on August 1st. In New York, Rich Dennison, Fox News.
All right, another Ghostbusters movie in the works. Yeah, Hollywood Nation coming your way. First looks and Comic-Con announcements, bringing dragons, witches, and Ghostbusters. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has all this in tonight's Hollywood Nation.
The Sanderson sisters are back, so are the Ghostbusters, and a return to Westeros in the Hollywood Nation.
What is this?
San Diego Comic-Con starts July 21st, and the Targaryens will be there. HBO Max announced it's holding an immersive experience, House of the Dragon, the Dragon's Den, complete with a dragon hatching and a chance to sit on the new Iron Throne. The streamer is also hosting a panel with cast and show creators, including George R.R. Martin. The Ghostbusters are getting called in next holiday. December 20th, 2023 is the release date for the follow-up to the 2021 film Ghostbusters Afterlife. On Ghostbusters Day, director Jason Reitman and writer Gil Kennan confirmed the upcoming installment will return to New York City and the original film's firehouse. A look ahead to this Halloween season is part of today's First Looks, with a trailer for Hocus Pocus 2. Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy reprise their roles as the Sanderson sisters. In the story, it's up to 3 high school students to stop the witches when they resurface in Salem. The sequel debuts on Disney Plus September 30th.
How many of you?
13. Also in today's First Looks, a trailer for Ron Howard's 13 Lives, based on the true story of the 2018 Thai soccer team Cave Rescue. The cast includes Viggo Mortensen, Colin Farrell, and Joel Edgerton. It's in select theaters July 29th before Prime Video August 5th. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Going to leave you tonight with video of lions at the London Zoo, checking out some Pride Month decorations. Hey, be safe. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.